times we had. Oh, when the wind would blow with rain.
Okay, it's been like almost 2 weeks. Will be 2 weeks this Sunday. I have been in France. I've been here before. I know what the deal is. And still, as much as you think you know a place, when you've studied and lived there before and whatnot, there's always things that when you go back and you're back in that country that you're just like, what the fuck? Trying to think of exactly. I guess, I don't know. When you grow up in a different country for like 23 years, live in a certain country for however many years, you're used to that lifestyle, you're used to those mannerisms, you are used to just, you know, the food and every little thing that goes into a culture has been ingrained in you. And it really takes a lot of effort to just kind of like take what you grew up knowing and learning and eating and wearing and being at ease with. You have to not forget it, but just take it in your brain and put it on a storage shelf somewhere. So it's there, but you can refer to it when you want to, but you shouldn't let it be the forefront when you're in a different country. Not at all, because our mental software, as we call it, or as the book French or Faux by Polly Platt calls it, is what I just said, what we grew up being programmed to think and to know and to be comfortable with. Don't let that interfere with your new cultural experience, or your fourth cultural experience in the country, as for me now. Because really it doesn't really help you if you're constantly referring to your home country, all the little details, like, oh, well, we do this in the US and we do that in the US and that and that. It's not the US. You're not in the US, so stop referring to the US when you are in a different country. And you don't have to forget what you do in the US, or you can enjoy, like, once in a while, like, you know, enjoy like a hamburger, or, you know, watch like Family Guy or E! Or something, but just try and live in that culture, and that's the way that you'll adapt. You'll at first, there's gonna be a lot of questions, like, what the hell, like, why do they do this, why do they eat this, why do they walk that way, why do they dress that way, why are things so small here? Yeah, you can ask those questions, and, you know, you'll get answers, but you really just have to kind of be like, alright, clean slate in my brain to absorb new things and just to understand them. And that's basically what I do. I'm not like, you know, some superior being because I'm like a cultural chameleon in a way, but like, I'm not xenophobic at all. I'm actually the opposite. I'm a xenophiliac. I enjoy being in those situations. Even if I do feel comfortable, I know I'm feeling something. And that's what makes you feel alive, is knowing that, oh, I'm experiencing this situation right now because I have an emotion. If that makes sense to people. So, this is, I guess, a cultural help tidbit for people who living abroad, or going to living abroad, just visiting abroad. My number one question to you is, or just advice, is when someone comes to your home, you expect them to act a certain way because it's your home. You don't want them to trash your place, or like, you know, not like, oh, this food sucks and blah blah blah. You want them to respect certain rules and ideas that you have set for your home. So when you go to another country, do the same as you would want someone to do in your own country. That way there are less instances where you'll be made a target, or you will be made a fool or whatever. It's all about respect, because in actuality we're all living in the same place, just different parts on a map. So with that being said, yay! Yeah, I've been in France for 2 weeks now, and it is true that everything is smaller, but you have to think that Europe, France, any other country in this area, this part of the world, has had a lot more time to develop, a lot more history in terms of humanity. So in the US, we've grown up with a lot more space, because it was only like discovered in, well, the Vikings, Leif Erikson, discovered it in like what, 11th century, but still like there wasn't colonization until about like 1600s or late 1500s. So that's nothing in compared to the retrospective history. So you have to take into account we are spoiled with space in the United States, but that's because we've developed later. We've only like branched out to the west in what, the 1800s, and so that's you have to take that into account. So when you think, oh, things are small here, well, it's just because it's developed a lot more over time. It's like watering a plant, you know? The plant, you watered a plant a year, if you have a plant like grow like a year ago, and you know, you've seen it grow over a year, and then you bring like a baby plant and put it next to it, of course, the baby plant has more space, because it's new. Yeah. So, that being said, have a good day.
We're not all